guys got any idea about who's going to replace Joe and how you handle missing someone of his calibre up forward?
I don't have any idea actually who's going to play for him. We've got some options though. I feel like our VFL team's been in really good form. Forward line's been firing in that comp the last few weeks, so there'll be a number of options. To be honest, I haven't put too much thought into it, but unfortunate for Joe, he's been in such good form. But I think it's sort of 4 to 6. Is that the diagnosis? So at least it's sort of short, medium term instead of a long-term injury, and he'll do everything to get back as quick as he can. He's an important cog for us, but full faith in whoever comes into the side, whether it's Tommy Fullerton, we could throw like a Jack Payne. So we've got a few big boys on our list that will be ready if the opportunity comes their way. So we'll wait and see, but full confidence that our forward line can still function really well without Joe.
Fullerton seems to have been that guy who's stepped up over the last sort of year and a half whenever one of the tools has gone out. I mean, fans can be a bit fickle, but what have you guys seen from him over the last year and a half that you like about him for a guy who's come from a different sport?
Yeah, he's improved so much since coming to the club. He's put on a lot of size as well. He was quite skinny when he got to the club, and he's one of the hardest workers as well. He's always in the gym, doing extras on the track as well. But for him, his agility and mobility as a tall is amazing. He's got really clean hands. I know he's been working extremely hard on his contested marking. He's sort of bodying up and bringing the ball to ground in that regard. But it's probably his attributes are leading and taking a grab and getting separation from a tall defender. So he brings a lot. I'm not sure, they might change it up and go with another small. We've got some guys that are playing some really good footy in that small forward role in the twos as well. So we'll wait and see. I actually have no idea what way they're going to go. I haven't spoken to Fags, but yeah, I'm sure whoever comes in will do a great job.
What about your other injured tall forward, Eric Hipwood? We know the coach keeps hinting that he's really, really close. What have you seen from him on the training track?
Yeah, I've just seen him come back and be the same Eric Hipwood he was 12 months ago on the training track. There was a match sim that we did about 10 minutes worth probably 2 weeks ago, and he was playing in the reserve side against the AFL side, and he dominated. So he's looking good, he's looking sharp. I'm sure he's not too far away, maybe a week or two, but it's really exciting. Not sure whether he comes straight in or has to play a little bit of VFL footy first, but yeah, it's exciting for the club and for Eric. Can't wait to have him back.
You're all close mates, as he indicated, maybe an early comeback.
Well, he wants to play this week, I think, so especially with Joe going down, he's like, yeah, I'm ready. So I think they'll bide their time a little bit with him, but he feels like he's ready to go. But I don't think he'll play this week. But you never know.
There's no free wins in AFL, but the way people are talking about West Coast, they've almost written them off. Are you guys wary about a team that no one is giving any chance of beating you?
Yeah, certainly. We had a look at their team on Tuesday, I think it was. We went through their list, and I think they've lost a couple since we had a look at it, but they still had 13 premiership players available on the Tuesday, and I think maybe Shuey and there might be a couple others that are now out, but there's still around 10 premiership players in that team, and that's a lot of talent. They know how to win. They obviously haven't had a great few weeks, but I think this club as well understands how quickly they can turn around, and especially on a travel, I think teams really galvanise and try and get up for those travel games. I know we certainly do at times, especially if we've lost a couple, feel under the pump. I remember back in, I think it was 2019, we had 2 away trips in a row coming off the bye, and we had a shock and loss to Carlton before the bye. Really galvanised us, and we beat GWS and Port away when those 2 sides were going really well. So we've got to prepare for their best. Their best is really good. So we look forward to the challenge, and hopefully there's a big Gabba crowd here cheering us on, and we can do some damage and get the win. But we've got to respect what West Coast are going to bring.
Lachie, there's been a lot said about your third quarter effort after the Swans came back. And you know, Buddy kicked whatever 4 goals in a row. What did you like? Did you say something to the boys, or did you just say, right, we're not going to lose this?
I couldn't really say anything because we were sort of 10 minutes into the quarter. I came off quite early in that quarter, and they were still kicking goals when I was on, and then when I was off, I sort of said to Fags, get me back on, but I say that all the time anyway. But no, for me it was just playing my role. I didn't try and do anything special, but I did sense that we were under the pump. Obviously, they'd kicked 5 goals really quickly, so I tried to lift a little bit, but the structure and my teammates around me allow me to sort of play that role and get after the footy and try and win it for our team and get the ball going forward our way. But yeah, I didn't say anything or anything like that, but I certainly sensed that we were under the pump, as I'm sure everyone in our team and supporters and everyone at the SCG probably could sense that.
There was you said last time you talked a couple of weeks ago about being really more motivated than ever this year and feeling fitter than ever and your body feeling better than ever. Everyone's already talking that you're playing better this season than you did when you won the Brownlow. Do you feel like you have improved significantly in any area over that year that you won the Brownlow medal?
Probably fitness levels is one, but in terms of my actual football nous and game, I think I've just tried to improve every area. Probably one thing for me that's picked up a bit this year is my defensive pressure and capabilities, and that's probably come off the back of being fitter and my body being able to do it. That's something that the first 7 weeks I've been proud of. As an individual, it's probably not a strength of mine that people know about, but I feel like my defensive pressure and defensive running patterns and things like that have improved a fair bit. But in terms of stoppage nous and my craft, I'm always trying to improve that, and I feel like I probably have a little bit. Try to get a bit more damaging ball than I did last year. I felt 2020 I was still pretty damaging, so last year was a pretty bad year for me. And then, yeah, just try to improve on what I know I'm capable of from that 2020 and 2019 season. Just trying to go again and improve. It's the club's mantra. Just trying to get better and make the team better. And by doing that, my way of doing that is getting myself better.
Are you a guy that gets inspired by other mids in the comp? I think you touched on earlier in the season, you saw Patrick Cripps go play well one night, and so you thought you'd have to come out and play well. But guys like Oliver and Petrarca and these sort of fellas that elevated in the last year or so, do you get inspired watching what they do, trying to match or one up?
A little bit. We're like completely different players. I sort of said that a little bit tongue in cheek after I think the Essendon game. Cripper's a good mate of mine, so I was pumping his tyres up. He's been under the pump the last couple of years, and sort of knowing him and knowing the situation, we sort of both had similar years, I suppose, in 2021. So understood what he was going through, and to see him start the year like he has, like I knew he still had it in him, but yeah, really proud of him, and I suppose inspired by the way he's going about it for sure. I think with Petrarca and Oliver, they're completely different beasts to me. Certainly different body shapes and size and different attributes, but certainly try and take bits and pieces from what they do and how they're damaging games and impacting, and trying to make sure that I can implement that as well. But yeah, I would say that, yeah, I do watch them and try and take little bits and pieces.
We were just talking a bit earlier about when we're talking about the guys who might be able to make a difference up forward for Joe. Cam was one of those guys on the weekend that went forward, took some marks, kicked some goals. You've spent a bit more time alongside him in midfield this year. How impressed have you been by a guy coming back from an ACL injury and then having, I mean, statistically in a lot of areas, he's having one of his, if not his best year, coming back from an ACL. So how impressed have you been by that?
Yeah, really impressed. And I think with Cam, his game isn't built around statistics and stuff like that. It's, as you said, impact. Like I think on the weekend he only had 11 disposals, but after the game I thought he was one of our better players for the 4 quarters. Just his impact around contests. I think he ended up kicking 3 as well, but it was the stuff around the ground that he's been doing, and also buying into that defensive stuff as well. It's improved a lot. He's working on his midfield craft. That'll only get better over the next few years, but he's one of those guys that only needs sort of 10 to 20 disposals in that range to have a really big impact on the game, and he knows his strengths really well, and he's working really hard on his deficiencies, and he's improved those really well over the last 6 months. So yeah, super proud of Cam, and the way that he's come back and impacted the group has been fantastic off the 12 months out.
You still like beating the same West Coast as much as you did when you played for the Dockers?
Yeah, it's always nice to beat the Eagles. Went through a pretty rough patch towards like the end of my Freo career. We lost to them a lot of times, so it's been nice to beat them a couple of times, and hopefully that continues. Yeah, it's nice.